Hello, all my beautiful people. It is time once again for another amazing episode of If You Give a Dad a Podcast. So this week I have with me a returning guest, and it is somebody who I feel is very entertaining to talk with when it comes to social media and it comes to talking on the mic. This man can do no wrong. He is extremely entertaining, and I am very excited to have Red James on with me again this week. The last time he was on with me was in October of 2022, and I thought it was time to maybe bring him back on and kind of see where things have went with him and what he's been up to. So I'm very excited for you guys to hear this episode today. Tons of stories, tons of laughs, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And for those of you who are here just to listen to the Red James episode, welcome. I hope that you enjoy what you hear, and I hope that you stick around and listen to some of the other great episodes we have here as well. So, if you guys are as excited as I am, then let's get this show on the road.
If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Hey, Dad.
So where did you actually train at?
I made a really good career out of being able to bump, sell, and I had a punch me face.
I wasn't about to call you dad, so.
Seriously?
I felt like I was in an anime or something.
People get really mad at those videos for some reason. Like, it triggers
Really?
certain people. Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually lost as an infant, and I was taken in by a traveling group of independent wrestlers.
I love it. I'm excited for this one.
Bro.
Get punched in the face on the daily. Do you always do these interviews with your shirt off?
What?
Man, this guy won't shut up.
All right, everybody. So I have a pretty awesome guy that you have heard on here before. We talked back in October, I believe it was, is what he said. And I'm glad to have him back on. He's since become the XWE social media champion and the Red Dirt Wrestling Brass Knuckles champion since the last time I talked to him. I'm talking about Red James. Man, how are you doing today?
I am beat up. I am doing great, but I am beat up. Also, last Friday, I did win the Core Professional Wrestling contract in a briefcase on a pole, and I won all of them. Like,
Oh, wow.
They didn't tell me I couldn't take the pole home with me, so I did. And so I got the contract, the pole, and the briefcase.
Are you going to carry the pole around too, with the briefcase?
If it wasn't 15 feet long, I would, but I got the pole that it came in on.
That's cool. That's cool. So yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you said nobody's asked for the pole back on there. So maybe the next time you show up, they're gonna be like, "Where's it at?" And be like, "I've already reused it. Sorry."
It's in the garage, man. It's a whole piece of scaffolding, like an entrance. You remember Brock Lesnar curling the scaffolding?
Yeah.
It's that. Like, yeah. I don't know how he curled it, but I just put it on my shoulder and ran out the building with it, and I was like, mine.
You saying that reminds me. I've seen some videos here recently of these guys in the gym, and like they're lifting the workout equipment and the weights. Like there was one guy that was bench pressing like a treadmill at the gym, and it's just all these crazy videos that I've seen of these people, pretty much lifting things that have nothing. They're lifting the bench and everything else, so it's really crazy.
Yeah, they're sitting there in the chin up bar, and they got the bench wrapped to their waist. And
Yeah,
balancing everything. Yeah, there's a guy. I'm probably gonna butcher his name. I think it's Juju Mufu, but he's one of those guys that does all kinds of crazy stuff whenever he's lifting. And I've watched that. Have you seen the ones where he's lifting underwater with the head horse on?
no, huh?
Yeah, that's Juju. Yeah, he's a bodybuilder now, but his stuff is hilarious.
I'll have
Love
to-
it.
You said what's his name? How do you say it again?
I think it's Juju Mufu.
Okay,
It's
Juju Mufu.
Jay,
Okay.
like Juju. Yeah.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
definitely have to look that up because I did see one guy, and it looked like every video that he was in, he had these huge tires like he was using whenever he was like doing pull-ups and things like that. He'd have one strapped to him.
Nice. No.
So,
Nice.
like I said, it's been a minute since I had you on, and you've since won a couple championships, and you've been doing great, man. I mean, I know that I saw the other day you said that this is you're still in your first year, or you just had your year anniversary, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, happy anniversary on that. And
no, I have my anniversary will be June 1st.
June
on my
1st.
daughter's birthday. I had my first match against Fuego del Sol of AEW and in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. It was outside. He cheated. Like they said, ring the bell. I didn't hear a bell, and then all of a sudden I got hit with the tornado DDT out of nowhere. And then they counted 1, 2, 3. They cheated, man. But then he comes back to Oklahoma last week, right, with a broken foot. Like I know why. I know that's all a sham. Fuego. I even told him, I was like, you broke your foot. Like you either broke your foot on purpose, or this is all a work so you can get out of the rematch because you know I'm better now. He was like, yeah, you got me, Red. You got me.
Yeah, that sounds kind of cheap, you know. Roll you right up, man. That's not okay. So how many matches have you actually had in this first year?
I've had 52 matches as of today, and then what is it? Since last June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 9 months. I've had 52 matches in 9 months in 6 states. Been traveling. I've been fortunate to make it all the way out to North Carolina here recently.
Oh, yeah.
Some things have fallen through. 2 states fell off. I was supposed to go out to Mississippi. That things happen, right. And also California this week of WrestleMania, and it fell through.
Oh man!
But well.
Yeah, things happen. You know,
they do. I've been really lucky with my first year. I mean, that we have some wrestler awards that are given out every January. Right. I've been given Heel of the Year awards in a couple of companies. I received a Rookie of the Year award and a couple more. So I've been really fortunate.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know that there was a few that I actually got a chance to vote for you on in there and everything like that, because I remember all those awards that are going on. There's quite a few of them. And this is my first year dealing with the independent wrestling scene as well. I just started this podcast a year ago in March. So it's cool to see all these other things and how they have the awards and things like that. And it's really cool to me.
Oh yeah, I love it. I thought I loved wrestling before. Yeah. And then the struggle of training, once you get out of training and you start to think, oh, I'm not that good or whatever, the mind beat up, and then you get out there and you just start performing for a crowd. You just love it. Like even like talking to people about wrestling. I absolutely love this.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, you know, talking with you and everything and seeing everything that you have on your social media. And that is one thing that has blown up for you too. I was looking the other day and I think you've already got over 1,000 followers on your Red James account, you know, and congrats on that, man, because you deserve it with all the stuff that you put out there. It's great.
Thank you. I owe a lot of that success to several promoters, Tim Rockwell and Billy Simmons, Nathan and Audra Estrada. I owe a lot of that to them because they were always on me about promoting yourself, promoting this, promoting that. Right. Well, then it got into Red James and he doesn't shut up. So I don't, and then it became like, I started the Burn 'em for Bucks thing, and now I've got 200 followers on Burn 'em for Bucks. And somebody made a comment, it's like, how do you start a fan page for Burn 'em becoming a fan of the Young Bucks, and you have more followers on it than a lot of these wrestlers do on their fan pages? I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just ribbing it. I'm just playing it. I got to respect Burn 'em for standing his ground about not this. I don't care. I respect that. He's standing his ground about that, but by God, I'm going to be on him like white on rice.
As soon as I saw that, because I've seen for weeks you've been sitting there and picking at him about it, and you started making pictures and things like that. And I was like, okay. And then I saw you invited me to that group, and I about died laughing. And my wife was like, what is going on? And I had to show her. She didn't understand at all.
No.
But I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. It's hilarious. And the thing is staying fresh on social media is a big deal, especially in the wrestling world today, and you being able to keep such great content going, says a lot about you. You're able to, like you said, there's the whole thing, you don't know how to shut up. That's a good thing. When people start getting quiet, that's when there's a problem.
Yeah. People start to get quiet. Even in matches, I've noticed when we're wrestling, that they've seen the wrestling, but how do you stand out with wrestling moves? I mean, I'm not a high flyer. I'm not going to make you go, wow, he did that. If I pick somebody up, they're going to be like, oh, he could pick somebody up. But the rest of it's like, why is he untying people's shoes? I think at the core show, I think I untied like 8 people's shoes while we were wrestling. I'd get knocked out of the ring. I'd be laying on the ground. I'd start untying people's shoes. I'd get back in the ring, get knocked down, start untying people's shoes. You're like, what are you doing? And so I heard a story of Owen Hart untying people's shoes because he was so good at wrestling. He'd tell you to look down and you would see your shoes untied. Well, I'm not that good at wrestling, but I can lay on the ground and untie your shoe.
So I will start watching my shoes if I'm in the front row in one of your matches now. So.
Oh yeah, especially if I get knocked out, like knocked to the ground, roll out of the ring. Yeah, I'll be down and I untie a lot of people's shoes.
So there's something that you've actually started doing on your social media, and I read these every day to my wife when I see them. And
yeah.
It's Red James' uninspirational quote of the day.
Yes.
Those crack me up so much. And we've actually been talking, and I was like, man, those would make really good stickers too.
Yeah. If I keep it up for a whole year, I want to print off those, and those little daily calendars.
Yes.
I want to sell little daily calendars of that. I'm always writing something, always writing.
Yeah.
And so it's not that hard for me to be negative,
right?
Surprisingly. And so I shot, like, it was, this idea came from Billy Simmons, XWE owner and promoter. And he was like, how about you write all that mean stuff in a daily quote? And I was like, okay. And so I started with that, and it was right about Valentine's Day. That's the reason why it looks like a Valentine's Day card. Whenever you see the picture, it says Red James. It looks like a Valentine's Day thing.
Yeah.
And I thought about changing it. I was like, nah, it looks sweet. I'm just going to leave it here until you read it.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah. And it's a daily thing. Like, I think I got April. I got the entire month of April already mapped out. All I have to do is just plug it into the system and let it go. But I'm usually about a week ahead of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, posting it, like, right. I schedule it out for the week.
Yeah.
But they're all there. The uninspirational quotes of the day, man. And it helps me also on promos.
Okay.
Because I'm fortunate enough to get a live microphone at most of the shows I'm at.
Yeah.
And they're all kid friendly and things like that. But you can tell a kid, you're never going to amount to the half the man your mom is. You could tell a child that, and they understand, like, my mom's not a man. What? Yeah. And then you could tell somebody is like, you're so ugly, your babies are born naked. like you could do that, so you don't have to. Yeah, you could be mean and not cuss, but some of it, dude, like, I've even, like, some of them I've been told to take down. I'm like, well, it's out there on the internet. If I get canceled, I get canceled. I don't blame your ex for beating you now. that one. Even a couple of my friends told me to take that one down. I was like, nope, it's out there in the world.
That's one of the ones that I told my wife about, and she was like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I got from her was a wow.
And the foster care one, like
Yes.
if I was your parents, I'd have done drugs too. And like, like yeah, yeah, man, it gets mean. Like when you start, if you're reading them every day, it gets mean.
Yeah.
It gets mean.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something to look forward to every day too, I think. So
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So I kind of brought you on here today to kind of let you're one of those people that has all kinds of crazy stories, and you've got some good ones to tell and everything. So I kind of wanted to bring you on today to maybe talk about some of the things that maybe has happened since you've been wrestling, maybe some stuff that's happened outside of the ring or in the ring or different stuff like that.
Yeah, man, I got some doozies. I can definitely tell the stories, but I can't tell you who they are or where they work or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke marijuana. I know marijuana is legal in a lot of places we go. I don't do none of that, but I'm probably one of the wildest ones in the group. And so a lot of people I do go with, we're usually at a bar. We're usually doing something, crazy. And those stories, like getting kicked out of an Applebee's with a couple of people, it was graduation time. Okay.
Oh, no.
It was after a show. It was like graduation, and there's families in this Applebee's, and my wife is over in the corner covering her face up. She's like, "Oh my God, don't you do this?" And there's families in this place, and this guy comes up and he's like, "I got 15 shots of tequila." We're like, "Heck yeah." And I don't drink. So he keeps on handing me these tequilas and I keep on passing them down. And then finally, like the whole table's got it. He is loud. This guy, like I'm being told to settle down too from the remarks of this guy. But it was like not everybody drank those tequilas. So the shots kept on going back to him. Like they were going around the table and they came back and he was just taking shots. I think this guy did probably 8 out of the 15 shots of tequila.
Ooh.
And he starts talking about my wife's butt.
Oh no.
And like everybody's like, "Hey, settle down, Red, settle down." I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. This guy is plastered." Well, I remind you, there's families in there with graduating class, like their kids' graduation parties in this Applebee's. And he's screaming at the top of his lungs, "What you gonna do with all that ass inside that ass? I'm gonna eat that ass, Red. I'm gonna eat her ass.
Oh my God,
Red." And I was like, my wife just walked away. And I'm okay. I realize the situation.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, man, out of respect, I'm not going to right now." I was like, "Hey, I appreciate that." I said, "I appreciate that." He goes, "But I'm going to go back to the hotel."
Oh my gosh.
I said, "I respect that." We shook hands and we went on, but that was at the same time they were asking us to leave.
Yeah. I remember. See, you've told me that story, and but we didn't tell it on air last time.
No. Yeah, my wife's in there screaming no right now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I still haven't got.
What? I did not make that bigger than what it was. I didn't.
I still haven't got to ask the other guys who have been a part of that because you told me some of the people in that story.
So one of the guys in that story who wasn't that person, he has some trainees that wrestle, and I was like, I told these guys, I said, "Hey, after this one show, I was like, hey, we all got to go to Applebee's afterwards." And the guy was like, why do we all have to go to the trainer? He's like, "Why do we have to go to Applebee's afterwards?" I said, "Because I want to get them kicked out of an Applebee's." He's like, "No, you're not. These are good kids."
Yeah.
It's like, "No, we're going to get it kicked out." They avoided, everybody's like real respectful and shaking hands.
Right.
They avoided me. They ghosted me. I mean, they ghosted me out the door. Like, I seen them once before. I said, "Hey man, how come you ghosted me after that?" It was like, "We're not getting kicked out of an Applebee's, Red. We're not doing it." I was like, wow, "You guys are so disrespectful. How am I supposed to bring you up right in the business if you guys are going to disrespect me like that?" The grizzled young vet, Red James.
That's right. Well, you got to teach the younger, because I know you did start later in the business.
Yeah.
You were 30, 33.
I was 33, 32. Yeah, somewhere in there. I'm 35 now.
That's right. You just had a birthday and everything, and I'll
Yep.
be 35 this year, so I know we're close in age and everything like that. So we got to teach some of these younger guys, how to have a good time.
Exactly. Loosen up.
Yeah.
Loosen up. What's another? Oh my God! So we were on our way back from another show, and my wife, after a party, after I won no, it wasn't the XWE championship match, but we were on our way back, and I look back and she's flopped over, she's passed out. And I tell the wrestler in the back seat, I'm like, hey, just shove her back over. He's out of it too after partying all night. He shoves her so hard, her head bangs off the side of the window while we're driving. And I'm like,
no.
Good God, what was that? I look over, just crying. He goes, it's your wife's head.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a good. Anyway, that's one of the other stories. Oh, I haven't been, ever since I started wrestling, there hasn't been a Waffle House that I haven't kissed another man at.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so now it's a tradition. Like every time I go to a Waffle House, I have to, if I'm with wrestlers, I have to kiss one of the other male wrestlers. So now it's becoming a bad part. Like,
oh no.
I started this way early with a manager, and I was playing chicken with him, and he didn't budge, and then he grabs the back of my head and he just kisses me. And so after that, it was like every time we stopped at a Waffle House, I wound up kissing one of the other guy wrestlers. And I kept that tradition up on my way out to North Carolina, and I kissed Billy Simmons every time that we got into a Waffle House.
So how was it going out there you said it was North Carolina is where you went?
Yeah.
How was it going out there?
18-hour car drive, and we were taking rotations, but nobody let me drive because they hate country music. And the driver got to pick the radio.
Yeah.
And so the whole time we're listening to death metal, all kinds of stuff. And finally they were mad that I didn't drive. I was like, I offered to drive. You guys wouldn't let me. Somebody would hop in the driver's seat beforehand. And then finally, on the way back, they're like, fine, Red, you can drive. I think I drove 10 hours straight. And they were like, somebody kill that freaking dog. Like, mama get hit by a train, crap. Somebody take the radio away from Red. So I thought it was brutal. Like that, those kind of car rides are. I can do Dallas from my house, which is a 4 to 5 hour car drive, no problem. Right. But when you're just driving on a full tank of gas till it's empty, and then stop, get gas. But the car that we were riding in was amazing. I had never been in an SUV that nice before. Everything was heated seats, everything. Like, it was nice.
Wow,
it was nice.
How many people were with you? Because it sounded like you did a live video, and it sounded like you had quite a few people in there.
There was 6 of us in this SUV out of XWE. Billy Simmons, Violencia E. Paz, both of their tag team, Angel and Bruisador, Tommy Too Good, and Stormy Renee and myself. And we were all crammed into this SUV. And I was in the back most of the time because they didn't want me to get a hold of the radio. And when we made it through West Virginia, I got on everybody's nerves. Like, you'd hear somebody wake up and they'd be like, hey, where are we at? And Billy would be like, we're in West Virginia. And I'd start screaming at the top of my lungs, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. And so, like, the whole time, even when you're in West Virginia and you go to pay the tolls at the toll booth, it has the lyrics to the songs on there.
Yeah.
So then you just start screaming at the top of your lungs. And shut up! Shut up! He starts shaking fists, mad. He was.
You definitely had meaning behind the "shut up, Red." I'm guessing there then.
Oh, definitely. Not in the crowd because I didn't know who I was, but in the car I did. Oh man.
So what kind of country music do you like? Are you like a Red Dirt country music fan or?
Yeah, Red Dirt, Americana, I love it. I'm a big Jason Bowl and the Stragglers fan. American Aquarium,
Okay.
Turnpike Troubadours.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few I listen to all the time.
Yeah. I actually didn't know much about Red Dirt Country until I met my wife, and she's a big Casey Donahue fan. So
yeah, Casey. Yeah, what is it? Trailer Park or
yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. Casey Donahue. He's on my playlist quite a bit.
Yeah, he's good stuff. Since then I've gotten into a lot of different ones and everything. Like the Turnpike Troubadours is one that I really like. But Casey Donahue is one that probably I listen to the most out of if it's going to be Red Dirt Country.
Right on. What do you listen to mostly?
Oh, so
death metal, rock and roll. That's usually what everybody listens to is death metal and rock and roll.
I listen to a lot of metal, a lot of rock. On the way home today, I even had some Limp Bizkit playing in the car. So
there you go.
Yeah.
What's your feelings about Nickelback?
I like them.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Nickelback.
Okay.
I've always been the one that was like, everybody's like, no, they suck. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're good stuff. I was the weirdo all those years because I still listened to them. I was like, yeah, it's good sounding music. So I had a buddy who worked with me for quite a while at my job, and then he left to go work somewhere else. He actually became a firefighter. And I always told him that I was going to buy us Nickelback tickets. And he was like, I won't go. I was like, yes, you will. You'll hate it, but you're going to go. So
that's where my friend is. I tag him all the time. Luke Langley does album reviews.
Yes.
Of like the whole band. He does that. And so my friend hates Nickelback. I didn't care either way, but it was just like the See 'Em Burn 'Em thing. Once I got a hold of it, I didn't even let it go. And now when I see Luke Langley, I'm like, how's that album research doing? He's like, you can't rush art, man. You can't rush. I was like, you're not even listening to him, are you? And he won't say nothing. He just turns away because he knows I'll just stay on him even worse.
I wasn't sure who you were ribbing on that one.
It was a personal friend. But it's turning into Luke Langley. He's such a nice guy. That poor guy.
Oh yeah. He always just smiles and nods and everything. He kind of seems, when you first meet him, he can be kind of a quiet guy and everything like that. So but he's a really good dude.
He is really nice, very, very quiet. But the way I get those quiet people to talk is just like on this podcast. I just don't shut up, man. I'll just keep on going, and then they're like, okay, he's not going to shut up. I might as well be friendly with him. So.
See, that's the reason why you work so good on a podcast, though, because you can't have those dead moments on there. You got to have something to talk about and everything. So it just works great, In fact, I was talking to Logan Knight today, and I told him that I was going to bring you on and everything like that. And he was like, man, Red's a good talk, man. He can get on there and just chat with you and stuff. So yeah.
That's another guy that I've been on here lately. He's been going to the gym, and somebody made a comment about his butt at a show. And I was like, yeah. And I just turned around. I was like, hey man, good game. Gave him a good game.
Yeah.
And that's not like some people send me pictures of him turned around at shows now. I'm just getting like random pictures of Logan Knight's butt.
Oh my gosh.
Message to me from people whenever he's at shows, like, hey, post this. Okay. And I just crop it and was like, hey, this is a Logan Knight cake appreciation post. But
I've seen some of those.
Yeah. Like,
he's such a cool dude, and I'm sure he takes that in stride and everything. He does. His girlfriend, fiance, she is really all into it. She's like, I'm going to send you a whole bunch of pictures of him. I'm like, okay, whatever. But she is all in on board on some Logan Knight tushy pictures. You going to start a Facebook page for that too?
I probably will once I get enough pictures.
Well, there you go. I mean, you've got to now.
Got to.
It's out here on the podcast now, so you've got to do it.
Oh man, there's so many like little groups that like chat groups for wrestling shows that I'm part of.
Yeah.
And, like you wouldn't believe how many is like, well, this is where we stop booking red right here. Comments like these right here. I think I'm part of 3 of them, 4 of them. This week they've already told me that I've been like, all right, we're getting rid of you. Like you can't be like we're done with you now because all the shenanigans I'm bringing on with them.
And then you're like, wait a minute, I have one of your championship belts. You can't do that.
Oh yeah. It's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those 3.
So yeah, no, like I said, that's another guy talking about Logan Knight who has kind of blown up and started going a lot of different places here lately. I think he's been wrestling in Core now too, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been wrestling. He was on and off Core when I started there. That's who I train with. That's one of my home promotions.
Right.
I'm very happy that I finally won a match there.
Yeah.
But he's tag team wrestling with another great independent wrestler, Derek James. Young guy. He's going to college. I fully believe that Derek James, once he's out of college, he's going to hit the scene hard, going good. And I don't know if you've seen him or any of his snippets, but dude is a professor in the ring. But they're tagging together with Mike Andrews as their manager, and I believe they're with Merck.
Okay.
I've known Logan quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know him that well till probably I started wrestling a lot more in Oklahoma City, and I think that's where he's from.
Right. Yeah.
And but he's always there. So Logan's awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
I really am, because he was one of those guys that just had great talent, and everybody wanted him to go do more. And he's coming out of his shell, and he's going to do more. He's not letting people talk him out of it, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
When people do that, I can't down him for it, and he's going hard. I'm not like, good for him, good for Derek. But yeah, they're out there at Core. We've only wrestled against each other once. I think we've teamed up together once. Okay. I don't even know if more than that, but we haven't locked up in a ring or even trained together that often. But
yeah,
I would consider Logan a friend. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. So I kind of want to switch back over on this a little bit, and I wanted to ask you, what is one of the craziest things that's happened to you since you've been in wrestling?
Crazy, like, okay. My wife got booked at a show. She's a referee, and I just went with her. I went with her to a show down in Lawton, Oklahoma, and we just get there, we shake hands with the roster and everybody, and I go to use the bathroom, and I'm sitting on the toilet, and I hear a knock at the door in the bathroom. It's like, "Hey, Red, you in there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, did you bring your gear?" "Yeah." "We got an opening. You want to wrestle?" "Yeah." "All right, wipe your ass and get out here. We need to talk about it." Okay. So I got booked on a toilet, man.
Taking a poop.
Yeah, I'm taking a poop, man. and that was a wild day, okay? And then right after that, they were having a hot wing eating contest.
Okay.
They just said hot wings. They didn't say that they were making like mace. Like this stuff burned. Like they we're eating they were like, "Hey, we need somebody in this thing." And this was right after I don't know if you knew this either, but I won a hot dog eating contest at a wrestling show that was having a circus around it. They're having this hot wing eating contest, and it's so hot that it's burning my fingers as soon as we start. They're like, "Hey, we need some wrestlers in there." Everybody else was like, "No, we're not doing it." So me and Jerry Bostic were like, "Yeah, we'll do it." So then we start eating these hot wings, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I can eat a lot of hot food. But this is horrible."
Yeah.
And I'm like running around like, "Oh no, it's burning. Well, then he wipes my face with his hands, And the juices get down to my eyes. My eyes start swelling shut.
Oh no!
I rub it all over his chest. There's handprints from the habanero sauce or whatever it was on his chest. Handprints. I didn't smack him. I just rubbed it on his chest. And we get back to the back after this. Somebody gave me a bucket of sour cream, and I just wipe it all over my face, and it helps the swelling go down.
Yeah, yeah.
And later on, the swelling goes down, the sweat stop, everything stops burning after about an hour. Then it's time to go do our match. Me and Jerry Bostic were in a match together, and we start wrestling, and our sweat still has all that pepper juice in it. Then it's rolling down into our faces, and we can't see. It's getting hard to breathe, and it's so bad that the referee notices. And he's like, dude, you guys are messed up. Are you guys okay? We're like, I can't see. I can't see. My face is burning. It was like, we finished the match. We get back there, and luckily there was some sour cream left. There was a locker room with a shower, and I just turned the shower on, and I just sat in a chair with my gear on and everything, just in a cold shower to rinse myself off. And I put sour cream all over my face. Oh man, that was horrible. That was a bad day. Like 2 weeks before, there was we were doing a UWO circus with duck tanks and all kinds of stuff. Well, this was before the hot eating contest. And, so we start eating these, like, hey, we need people to enter this contest. I entered the contest. They set out these hot dogs. I've never been in an eating contest before in my life. I've been able to out-eat people, but they set a plate of 5 in front of me, and there's a plate of 5 hot dogs. There's a few more plates of hot dogs, and they give me a water, and I just start doing the Joey Chestnut thing where you dip it in water and eating it.
Yeah.
I started eating these hot dogs. I'm 25 in, and they cut me off, and I didn't realize like everybody else is like still on 10. And I'm eating these hot dogs, and they give me a little trophy, and the trophy is from like a tennis match in 1987. I still got it too. It's actually on my mantle in my living room, right above my fireplace.
That's great.
And later, I got to wrestle later that night. Well, then the guy puts me on the turnbuckle, and kicks me in the stomach.
Oh no,
dude! I threw up hot dog water all over that front row, dude. I ain't even playing. Yeah. Like, luckily, right behind that corner post, it was going. And then we had to take the ring down. They were like, "Who threw up?" And then I got like puke in my beard and stuff.
Not me.
My beard was really a lot shaggier at that time, and it was like, ugh. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh no.
So yeah, be booked on the toilet and food eating contest, man. It's been a pretty wild ride.
And it's only been a year.
It hasn't even been a year.
Hasn't even been a year. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 9 months in.
Wow.
9 months in.
You're gonna have to write a book.
No.
No?
No. They're gonna have to. I'm gonna be sued. I'm probably gonna get my ass chewed for doing this podcast if some of these stories here.
We'll make sure and protect the names of those who are involved.
That's just a whole bunch of boofs through this whole thing.
Yeah. So, do you have anything that's coming up that maybe you want to talk about?
Oh yeah. So I won the XWE Social Media Championship last month, and but there's another podcast out in Kansas that does Kansas wrestling. They talk about it. Well, some reason these guys are on me. I-70 Hot Tag Podcast. These guys are on me. I'm not plugging them, by the way. You could bloop that out.
Oh yeah, no, I know them. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay, but they're on me and they're helping promote Chance Kerrigan, a guy that I beat in a 4-way match that didn't know the rules of a 4-way match. It's not disqualification.
Right.
And I just happened to be the only person with the weapon. And
the only smart one.
Yeah, the only smart one. And I knocked him smooth out with a pair of brass knuckles. And I won the title. They said I thought the championship had been in circulation before, and it was just given up, took a break. But they said that I was the first ever XWE social media champion, which I think that's awesome.
That's really cool.
On April 8th at Salina Fieldhouse in Salina, Kansas, I'll be taking on Chance Kerrigan for my XWE social media championship. And then April 14th, I'll be at Core Professional Wrestling at Sand Springs. I don't even know if I'm wrestling, but I know I'll be there waiting with my my contract in a briefcase on a pole, and I'll be waiting around to cash that in on somebody. April 14th, and then April 15th at Unified Wrestling Oklahoma. This is their Tulsa show. They usually run down in Oklahoma City, but they'll be at the Admiral Place Mohawk American Legion in East Tulsa, and I'll be defending my brass knuckles, my Red Dirt Wrestling brass knuckles championship there.
Right on.
But that's what I have coming up, but it's April and it's March, right? March,
yeah.
April? Yeah, March right now. So
we're right at the end of March. When this airs, it'll be right at the beginning of April. I think it'll be like the 2nd or 3rd or something like that.
And also back up to Chance Kerrigan. I don't know who she is to him, but this Mindy Grace character with him, she's busting my chops, and I don't even know what she's got to do with it. But she's busting my chops, and it's probably because I've been calling him Nancy Boy Kerrigan, probably. but yeah, this Nancy Boy Chance Kerrigan, Nancy Kerrigan, wasn't that the ice skater who broke her leg or something?
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah, back when we were kids.
Yeah, back when we were little
guys. So I know that. Are you going to be watching WrestleMania this weekend?
Oh, most definitely. I don't know where I'm going to be at watching it, but I think last year I missed it because I did miss it last year because of wrestling. This year, plans fell through, but I will be watching it this year. Predictions, I like what I want and what is on is totally different. So,
right. So I'll say this: most people want to see Cody Rhodes win, okay, and I understand why and everything, but for me, I kind of don't, because we're all expecting it, and I love it when we get swerved.
Exactly. I was just talking to I forget who I was talking to, but I said I want somebody to beat Bruno Sammartino's record.
That'd be hard to do.
I want a 10-year-long champion, and I think that we should keep the belt on
Roman.
On Roman, yeah. But that he's already got he's close to 1,000 days.
Yeah, he is. If he wins at WrestleMania, he will reach 1,000 days.
Yeah, so I want that 1,000-day mark.
That would be
reach for him. But I own more Cody Rhodes shirts than I do Young Bucks shirts, and I know that's hard to believe, but I do. I only own one WWE Cody Rhodes shirt.
Okay.
But I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. Had been since the mustache days. Yeah. And the Rhodes Scholars, I think they should have got their shot at greatness.
Oh yeah, that was a good tag team.
Yeah, it was. And but I really want to see Roman just be champion for 10 years.
Yeah, I could see that. And I mean, if they're going to do it, it would be somebody like him.
Yeah. So. And believe it or not, I am not a Sami Zayn fan, so I want the Usos to win also. So
you get that Sami Zayn reference a lot, don't you?
A lot, yeah. I used to be a Sami Zayn fan. Yeah, used to be, but then it was just like, hey, you're Wish. You're not even the Wish version. You're whatever's worse than the Wish version of Sami Zayn. So I'm like, nice. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to see him win. Nothing against him. Great wrestler, but yeah, let's go Bloodline.
There you go. See him win just across the board.
Yeah, same win across the board. I want the Usos to be the Bruno Sammartinos of the tag team division. Did they beat the New Day's record?
Yes, they did. I believe that. I'm pretty sure that they did. Or was it just that did they just beat them to take the titles away from them? I don't remember. Maybe they haven't beat their record yet. I'm not sure.
I don't think that the New Day's record should have been broken if it had been broken. Like,
right.
They were the John Cena's of tag teams in this era. So they shouldn't have but who am I?
They were so unique, like, I mean, nothing else has come out that was like them. And to see the progress and the change over time. If you remember when the New Day first started, they kind of reminded me. They were heels, but they also reminded me, like, when they started doing those vignettes for them and everything, Big E seemed like a preacher in a church whenever he was doing his promos and stuff. They all kind of had that kind of church feel to them whenever they first came and everything. And then they changed, and my kids, they call them the pancake guys, which is completely different than that. But they were able to morph into something completely different.
Side note, I want to get me one of those converters that Big E has in the car, because they were doing a ride-along episode with the New Day, and Big E's in the back seat making pancakes on a griddle that's hooked up to the car. I want to whip out a griddle and start making pancakes and make everybody mad on one of those 18-hour trips. Bro, that has not been lost on me.
Oh, that's great. The one thing I remember is that dude is flexible, Big E, because he's sitting in the back seat by himself, and he, just to get comfortable, he puts one leg on one door and his other leg on he's back there doing the splits while he's just riding down the road. And I'm like, what are you doing? But he's like, oh, this is comfortable. I was like, nope.
No. Man, I just barely got to where I could touch my toes, and I was so happy about that. Yeah. I told my wife, I was like, look, I could touch my toes. She goes, you haven't been able to touch your toes? I was like, no, never in my life have I been able to touch my toes. Like, that's my lucha move, is touch my toes whenever I'm sitting on the ground.
Man, I still have problems with that, but I've got that straight up dad bod. Well, maybe it's overkill dad bod that I've got going on here now, so I've got to get in shape. Right. Well, I've got, if you could see behind me, I have no, you can't see it. Back behind those boxes there is an elliptical, and I've bought some some free weights and stuff that I'm going to start doing stuff at home to try to get in better shape.
Right on. Well, good luck on that journey. It's hard. Yes. Like the working out part comes easy for me. The eating part sucks. Yeah. Like I will wind up with the Hostess in my hand quicker than anything. Just zombie eating the Hostess and be like, how the hell did this get in my hand? Like,
where did this come from?
Yeah, I don't even remember getting this out of the refrigerator. Like, yeah. So, like, I know a lot of people have a problem with the working out, but mine is eating. I will eat 3,000 calories and ho-hos a day and not even realize it.
Yeah. Well, and my thing is I'll even be like, oh, well, I'm eating healthy. Well, then I'll overeat the healthy food too.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, it doesn't really work if you're overeating on that as well. So, it's still just not working out right. So, I've got to work on that as well.
You could do like me and just start getting your teeth kicked out. And that way it's harder to eat those foods. So it's just like.
That's true. From what I hear, there's a girl that that's really good at kicking teeth out.
Yeah. Luna Nightshade's sister. Yeah, she's really good at it. If you guys don't know who Luna Nightshade is, she's an up-and-coming women's wrestler and from the Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas area. Yeah. She's traveling all over the place herself. But her sister, she can kick some teeth out. And I have no ill grudge against her. I think it makes her feel bad that I actually tell people, like, yeah, she kicked my teeth out, but she's it's all fine, whatever. Oh, yeah. I started counting how many teeth I actually have missing. I am missing 5 on top and 3 on the bottom.
Oh wow!
So, well. I'm missing 8 teeth. I'm supposed to have 34. No.
Well, man, it has been great talking to you tonight. I've had a blast. Is there anything that maybe you want to say to your fans before I get you off of here?
Yeah, let me pull up my list. Let me see what I can say.
All right.
One day, the people that don't believe in you will still feel the same about you. And remember, your father never left his family. Your mother was a side hoe.
All right, man. Well, like I said, it has been wonderful talking to you.
Oh, man.
This is going to be fun to edit and get out there for everybody to hear.
I hope so. I hope so. You're just going to be like, hey, I did do an interview with Red James, but it's not going to work out.
It was unairable.
It was unairable.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you have a good night.
You do the same, Jared.
All right.
What's up, everybody? This is the Showcase, Alex Royal, brand new host of When This Microphone Hits My Mouth. You get the idea. We're going to be bringing you guys new episodes every single week, keeping the same popular style format that we had on What Can You Offer, my other podcast with John Cross. Be sure to check that one out, because every once in a while you might see another special episode, and you never know, John might cameo on this one every once in a while. But we're going to bring you unique perspectives on all things Oklahoma wrestling, pop culture, entertainment, podcast, and really, honestly, just anything that pops up. We're just going to have a free-for-all, have conversations, have guests, and have a grand old time. So be sure to check us out every single week. The goal is to have a new episode drop every single Friday, so you, yourself, your friends, and everybody else listening to this right here can check us out. Be sure to check back.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
All right, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed that episode with Red James. I know that I had a lot of fun talking with him, and I can't wait to bring him back on again here in the future. Maybe tell some more stories and everything. It's always a lot of fun talking with him and talking about stories. So I've got some different guests that are going to be coming on. I know that this week was supposed to be Kurt Gannon, the wrestler from Control Your Narrative. But, as I've told you many times before, things come up in life, and we had to do a little bit of rescheduling. So I will be recording with him this coming week, and so you should be seeing that one come out in the next few weeks. I'm also recording with Andy Ross. He is a singer and songwriter, and he is also got his own brand out there, and he's been on different TV shows and things like that. Had American Muscle Cars made for him on the History Channel, and so the Travel Channel and different things like that. And I'm very excited to have on Andy Ross next week and Kurt Gannon. So yeah, make sure that you're looking out for those episodes that are coming up. If you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the podcast, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter. I'm even on Hive and TikTok. You can follow me on all those places. Just go and look up If You Give a Dad a Podcast. Or you can go to Facebook and it's at IYGADAP. Or on Instagram, it is Give a Dad a Podcast. Or on Snapchat and on TikTok, it is also IGADAP. And then on Twitter and on Hive, it is at DadPodcast11. You can find me in all of those places. And come and follow me. Keep up to date with everything that's going on. Sometimes I have some cool announcements that come up on there that you might not hear until you hear the next episode here. You can get those announcements early if you're following me online. You can also send me an email at giveadadapodcast@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Also, if you're listening to this episode and you like what you're hearing, go out and rate and review it. Tell me what you think, whether you like it, whether you don't, whatever that may be. Make sure you just go out there and let me know. I do love hearing from you guys, and I look forward to hearing what you guys think about these episodes that I'm bringing to you. So I want to give a shout out to my podcast network, the OIW Podcast Network. Whether you want to listen to wrestling podcasts or Star Wars podcasts or retro video games, or if you want to find my podcast in a different place that has podcasts like it, go to the OIW Podcast Network. I will have a link to them in my show notes. They're awesome guys, and they do all kinds of awesome stuff. So make sure that you tune in there and find some really cool guys to listen to their stuff as well. I would like to also give a shout out to D-Cure for making my ending theme song for this show. I do appreciate it. He is an awesome guy, and if you like the way my song sounds at the end, go and follow him and look up his music. He has new stuff coming out all the time. The man is constantly making new music, and it blows me away how often he comes out with new stuff. But it is always great. It never misses. So make sure you go out there and follow him. I do have merch that is coming out, as you'll see over the next few weeks. T-shirts will be going out to different people. There's a few wrestlers that I've sent T-shirts to them for being on the show as a thank you. And if you would like to find one of those T-shirts, you can send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or an email, any of those, and tell me what size shirt you would want. I'll be posting pictures of that stuff. I'm also coming out with coffee mugs. On one side it'll say, "Hello, all my beautiful people," and the other side will have my logo on it. So if you would like a mug, you can find that with me as well. I will be posting pictures of all this with pricing as well. So yeah, I love you guys. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Room rounded, but I got a podcast on. He calls us beautiful people, then tells us who we have on. The best part of my day, though we're blocked out in my pods. Tell my friends all about it so that they follow along. And the host is kinda nerdy, but guess what, I am as well. I don't feel so alone, and I began walking out of my shell. Heard a story, I need a connection I haven't felt. I'll be looking for the next one, till then farewell. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. Listen closely, download and tune in remotely. It's the podcast for me. Have it on, better go see. And listen closely, download and tune in remotely.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.